Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Our next guest works with parents to create safe spaces that provide the support and understanding their LGBTQ plus children need in order to thrive. We welcome award-winning parent coach, educator, and LGBTQ plus youth advocate, Dr. Lulu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you're an expert in this field, and you've also walked the walk in your own family. Can you tell us more about your now adult child and their story?
Yes, I mean, like any other parent, I had a baby, I assigned them a male, I was happy, I was jubilant, I was excited. And then I noticed that my child was not quite the boy that I was expecting. And I went down the rabbit hole with my mother, who is Catholic, my father, who is Catholic, their father, who is Episcopalian, were not having any feminine looking child. Unfortunately, I did all the wrong things, and it took forever almost before I realized that my kid is not just gay, but actually transgender. Even as a queer person myself, I was like, I missed it. I missed it completely because I was raised in a world where, you know, I'm Catholic, I'm going to go to hell, all things LGBT are bad and not desirable. So it was a tough journey for me, but not anymore because I also happen to be a pediatrician. And today I'm a gender and sexuality coach. And I'm just trying to help people either come out if they need to come out, or affirm their kids if they need to affirm their kids, or even doctors become allies for their patients. So I'm doing everything I can.
You've done the work and learned so much along the way and are now sharing all of what you've learned with so many people who need it. Tell me more about the phrase coming out, and you have a term that you prefer to use.
I prefer to use inviting in, absolutely. I think in the past, queer people have had to do the work. We've had to be the one to allow people to let us know when they want us to tell who we are, or they forced us to come out when we're not ready to come out. So the whole concept of coming out is like it belongs to the person who is the spectator. But the inviting in makes you the owner of the party. You're the host. You get to choose who to invite. You get to choose who to escalate to VIP, and you get to choose who to rescind their invitations. So inviting in is about me, the queer person, being in charge of my life, taking charge of who I let into my circle. And so I let parents know that if you create a safe enough space, your child might even invite you in. In my case, my home was not safe for a long time, and my child actually did not really truly invite me in. Their sibling outed them. So that's the difference. Inviting in is me taking charge of my life and letting you and not you come in, or everyone coming, or no one coming at all. It just depends on how I want it. So the power is back to the owner, which is the queer person.
I love that. Yeah, that's a beautiful way of breaking it all down. So let's talk about, we've learned so much over the years of some serious implications of if a child doesn't have that support in their home, that it can really have lasting impacts in their lives.
Absolutely. I'll take myself for example. Raised Catholic, good child, cookie cutter child, did all the right things. And then I told my dad that I thought I liked boys and girls, and my dad waved it off and said, oh, it's a phase, it will pass. And I believed my dad. And that's the power of parents being not only the most important person, but also the most influential person in your child's life. So we have to be careful about what we're thinking, what we're saying, what we're believing, what we're doing, because our kids are watching. And of course, that advised my future. So when my child was born, I missed it completely. And my child had to work very hard. Actually, she said, Mom, I'll take away all my awards, all my scholarships, everything, if you would just see me as the person that I am. That is a very painful thing for a child to say to a parent. And all because society expects me to look at my child as binary, as one way and not the other, and frown on anything creative or anything different from what's normal. But the question is, what is normal? Like, whose closet is it anyway? Who gets to decide who stays in the closet? What do we put in closets?
Exactly.
Not human beings, right?
There
so
you
that's
go.
My argument.
So how can we do better as parents to prepare for our kids inviting us into their worlds?
Absolutely. The best way the parents can do this is to tune in to their own thoughts and what they expect about queer people. most people have been misinformed that all people LGBT are bad or are wrong or do not exist. Think about what you think about the queer community. What are your thoughts? Number one. And then number two, do my ABCs. So the A is accept yourself as a parent of a queer child or as a parent of a trans child. Acknowledge what your child just told you. And then you can affirm them by believing what they said, right? So you can become the parent that your child needs. And that takes courage and a lot of convincing for some people. But you have to make a decision every single day to be a fierce ally. And you can feel your feelings because they are valid. So that's my ABCDEF of parenting your LGBT plus child.
Oh my gosh, I think parents who get to come to you are so lucky. You have so much great advice. Well, have you seen over the years progress in your practice of parents becoming more open-minded and understanding and doing a better job of fostering these young people who need the safe space?
I wish I could tell you yes. I wish I could tell you yes. Unfortunately, parents, much like me, we are products of our environment.
Yeah.
We look at what's happening in the news, we look at what's happening on social media, we look at what's happening at the White House, at the legislative levels, and we believe them and we don't believe our kids. So I wish I could tell you that today parents were doing better. Just look at the numbers of suicide in the LGBT community. Just look at trauma, look at chronic substance abuse, look at mental health, and you will know that it's not necessarily getting better. But the good thing is the next generations after us are doing better about self-affirming. The millennials they did better than the Gen Z, the Gen Xers like me. The Gen Zers are doing better than the millennials, the Gen Alphas. They're all becoming more and more affirming of themselves and of their peers. And that, my friends, is what's going to save the world, because we, the older generations, we missed the mark. And it's because of the environment that we were raised in. So I don't blame anybody. We come with our own baggage. But I dare to say, if you just listen to your child will tell you who they are at the age of 2. At the age of 2 years old, most people know their gender identity. They might not say it to you if you're transphobic, or if they hear you talking about transphobic stuff, like I did. So I'm not here to say that I didn't make mistakes. I'm here to say that you can change and you can learn and you can make corrections, and everybody can, so that your child becomes the person that they need to be and they can thrive. And people talk about thriving and resilience. I wish we didn't have a world where people had to be brave to be who they are.
Right.
I just wish we didn't have that world.
Well, I see hope in you, and I'm glad that we have you around. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy Pride, y'all.
Happy Pride. Thank you so much. We'll have more information about Dr. Lulu on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.